Okay, next let's talk about putting these buttons on our website. Now, one of the things about my about this website, I want when the person rolls the mouse over it for it to change. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's called a swapping of a graphic on a website. It's one way that when you roll the mouse over, it'll change from one graphic to another graphic. But what I need to do inside of Photoshop is actually make the graphics first. Okay, and what I mean by that is I want to have two different images inside of each button here. How I've made this is, if you look here, I have a folder inside of my layer window, and if you don't know how to make a folder, it's a group. It's called a group, but it's basically a folder, and inside the folder I have different pieces for each one. I have a square shape for that goes around the object, and I've made it into a smart object, and the reason why I made it into a smart object is so that when I can butt these all up against each other, and it'll do the slicing just fine. So there was a reason why I made it a smart object. Then you'll notice I have a graphic for each one and then a title for each one. So each one has a graphic and a title and then a shape. Now I'm going to do this smart object all over again. The reason why I want to do a smart object is I want to add a little glow behind the text and the object that you see when the person does the rollover effect. So again, on the website, what I want is when a person rolls their mouse over, it'll change colors. Okay. To do that, I want to put an effect on the text and the shape, or the whatever shape symbol goes along with the text. Now, I could individually grab, let's say, the text here and then go down to my effects window. And again, the effects window is at the bottom of my layers window. It's called FX here. And then I could say, okay, let's do outer glow. And let's make red. And then maybe make it a little bit bigger. Where's spread, I guess, or size. Maybe make it a little bigger and change the normal. There we go. Change to a normal blending mode, red, and then hit OK. And then I could then go and do the same thing for the shape over here, do the same thing. But that's a lot of work. So I'm not going to do it just for one. This is where your smart object comes in. So you'll see I could do that for each individual piece, but that's a lot of work. So I'm going to remove that for now. I'm going to just drag that effect that I did into the trash can in the bottom of the layers window here. Instead of doing it to each individual piece, I'm going to group some things together. In this case, I'm going to group the join text that you see here with the symbol that I have here. So this symbol that I have here and the join text, both of these are two separate objects right now, or two separate layers inside of Photoshop. But if I select both of them by holding down the Shift key and select both the text and the symbol, I can go underneath and make it into a smart object, convert to a smart object. It'll now see both of these as a team, almost like a group inside of Photoshop or inside of Illustrator. When they're a team like this inside of Photoshop, then I can come down and hit the effects window, and I can apply the effects to both of them at the same time. So if I come down here to the effects, I can say outer glow this time, and again I can choose the red that I want. And choose a red outer glow, and then I can make it a little bigger, and then I'm going to change it to normal, and you can see what's going to happen. You can see the glow here. Again, by making these into a group or a smart object or smart group object right here, I can then apply an effect to both of them at the same time. So that's the advantage of using a smart object. So I can go and do that to the rest of them. I'm going to grab the press and the press symbol and say smart group, smart object, convert to smart object. And I'm going to go to crew, and the triangle opens both, crew text, crew symbol, and convert that into a smart object. And then for the film button, I'm going to do it again, film, and convert that into a smart object. After I do that, then all I have to do is just drag the effect that we have here. Remember the effect I applied to the join right here? I can drag that effect I have to another one. Let me drag it to the press, and it'll apply it to that. Before I do that, you need to hold down the I believe it's the control key. Let's try it again. No, I moved it. Maybe it's the alt key. That'll duplicate it to another one. Alt key. There we go. If you hold down the alt key when you're dragging, you can drag an effect from one layer to the other, and it's basically copying it. So this effect on the press, I'm going to hold down the alt key, and I'm going to click and drag the effect to the crew. And then the last one I'm going to do is click and drag it to the film. So each one has a little red glow around it. That'll be my rollover effect inside of my web page. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save each and every one of these buttons as two. I'm going to save one as a normal and one as an over. So I need actually 8 graphics to do my effects on my website. So again, I need 8 graphics. One for normal, and I'm going to turn these eyeballs off. Do you see the eyeball right here? Oh, not that. The eyeball for the effect. See the effect? There's an eyeball for the effect. I'm going to actually turn off the effect and save these all without the effect on. The reason why is I need 8 graphics, one with the effect on and one without the effect on for each effect. Okay, so I went and turned the eyeballs off of each effect, okay, of each one of the buttons. And the reason why I did that was because I'm going to save each graphic, each box you see here, as 2 of them, one for normal and one for over. Okay, next I'm going to go and I'm going to make a slice. What a slice is the slice tool is an option inside of Photoshop that you can use to split the graphics up into individual pieces so that I can save them very easily and quickly, and make sure that everything is lined up properly and is the right size. So how I'm going to do this thing called slicing, and basically what slicing is you're telling the page to be split up into individual pieces, okay, and hence the word slice. Inside of Photoshop, I believe the slice is under the crop tool. Here it is. You have the slice tool where you can simply go and draw a box around what you want, which I've already started doing here. And let me remove this so I can get these out of here so we can start from scratch again. Okay. So we're going to use this slice tool to draw a box. Now, the problem with drawing a box using the slice tool is you're kind of eyeballing and trying it to get it just perfect, and you might not get it right, and you'll notice I'm a little bit down. Let me zoom in a little bit here so we can see what we're doing here. I'm going to zoom in here, and I just drew a slice around this, and it wasn't quite perfect. Again, there's a slice tool right here. It's under the crop tool, and I'm going to draw a box around it. And you'll notice sometimes you'll be off like that. So that's not a good way of doing it. A better way to make a slice inside of Photoshop would be to make a slice from a shape. In this case, we have rectangles for each one of the buttons right here. So wouldn't it be easier is if I go and open each one of my triangles or my groups here of buttons, grab the shape that's there. There's a shape for each and every one. So let's start with the top one, the film one. So if I grab the shape for the film one, see the shape right here? I can go underneath under the layer window. There's one that says create. Where is it? It's under slice somewhere. It's got to be under here. New layer based slice here. It's like in the middle here. If you click on that, it'll make a slice from the shape. So that rectangle that I have now has a slice. Very easy, and I'm going to do that for each and every one of my shapes that I have here. My shape here for crew, go underneath layer, and it's called new layer based slice. Boom, made one there. So I'm just going to go through and do that kind of quickly for each and every one. I'm going to go under layer, new layer based slice, and then another one, layer, new layer based slice. So what I've done is I've split each and every slice, or each and every button I made, into something called a slice. It's basically designating an area on the page that you can then save each and every one of these little slices that you've made as an individual file. And because remember, we want each one of these to be individual to put it together inside of Dreamweaver. And let me pause this movie now, and we'll come back and finish this operation.